Welcome to the Toronto edition of Riot Fest 2014. Now this year, the festival has expanded a bit. It's got a bit more what you might expect from some of the American editions. Now, if you're not familiar with Riot Fest, it's usually a collision between punk and pop punk, a bit of heavy metal, some alternative bands from the 90s, and also a bit of 80s love this year as well. A lot of 80s icons playing. So my first of 3 interviews for today is going to be with vocalist Adam from Taking Back Sunday. Now they're 2 albums in, with their reunited lineup, the Tell All Your Friends lineup from over 10 years ago, and I'm going to talk to him about the reception of their latest album, Happiness Is, and how their music differs so much from the Tell All Your Friends album, even though it's the exact same lineup. All right, I'm backstage here at Riot Fest with Adam from Taking Back Sunday. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for sitting down with me backstage here at Riot Fest in Toronto.
In Toronto.
Which is the first Riot Fest day, because there's a few Riot Fests. There's one that happens in Chicago and one in Denver. So this is pretty exciting today, it being the first of all those.
So I want to start by asking you, Happiness Is has been out for a little while now, and it's the second with the reunited lineup from 10 years ago, or maybe more so now. And, in your opinion, how did this album, it's been out for enough time that you can gauge how it was received by both, I guess, your old school fans and by people who've just been along for a little bit of time. How do you feel like it was received overall?
It's actually, I think we're really blessed, because it's anytime we play one of the new songs live, it gets a very similar reaction to a lot of our older songs. So it's to be able to do that after being a band for all this time, I think there's something to be said for that. So all that to say, I'm pretty sure people like it, and I like it, so yeah. So it's good. Things are good.
That's interesting you talk about the reaction, because I wanted to ask you is that I feel that the songs that you guys have come out since you came back together with this lineup have been, in my opinion, like the most unique and the most different since, Tell All Your Friends and all and that kind of thing. And so it's weird that, you did a big tour with that album and you've done these records, and I feel like next to each other, the songs are quite different, you know what I mean? So that's interesting in the way you say that they're received the same way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's first, there's always, you get nervous when you're playing new tunes for people, and because you hope they like them as much as you do. Right. And thankfully, it's been just a great run.
Right.
So.
How do you feel about playing the older songs now? I was at Heavy Montreal a couple weeks ago, and I was watching The Offspring, and they're playing Smash. And Dexter, with gray hair, singing Self-Esteem, despite that I want to be all mature about it, it looks a little funny, you know what I mean? Yeah, so how does that feel, 10 years on, a decade of playing these songs that still mean so much to a lot of people and new people who discover them? How do you feel like, do you feel like too mature to play those songs sometimes, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think I've ever come across a situation in my life to where I felt too mature to but the thing with those songs is that, especially take a song like Cute Without the E, is off our first record, and we've been playing it, since that first record came out. It's when we're in rehearsal, those are the songs we don't really rehearse. But live, they kind of take on this life of their own. They have this new energy to them that the crowd kind of breathes new life into them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then so at that point, it stops becoming about kind of the way that we view them, and right. It becomes this new thing to where it's just more of an experience for us, It's for a while, it was definitely hard to kind of perform just to put yourself in that same mindset, because a lot of life has happened since that song was
right.
Song was written. But at the end of the day, it's not always about us, Right.
That's definitely the album that gets talked about the most with you guys. But your most commercial success sort of came with a different lineup. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how does like the new old lineup perceive those songs, perceive that middle part of the band's career? How did, like, when the guys coming back into the fold, how do those songs now fit into the band's mindset?
Well, it's interesting because I think John, when he came back, Make Damn Sure was probably the only song that he knew, you know, and I remember him saying that he was like, he said that when he heard that song, he was kind of like, oh man, like, or he knew we were on to something. And then but I think for them, I mean, I think they enjoy playing those just as much as the old and the new ones. You know, it's like I said, it's more about the kind of the experience and being in that moment each night, you know.
I feel that a lot of bands, when they make sort of recordings that are viewed as seminal or viewed as sort of important, eventually, you know, a lot of people start making albums like that, and that band ends up going off in a different direction to sort of find themselves. And you know, like your last two albums, like I said, have been very unique. So what do you feel about bands today that sort of come out with a sound that sounds very much like that record, and sort of are you flattered by that, or do you sort of roll your eyes? You know what I mean?
To be completely honest, I haven't really heard any bands I think that sound like us. There's
at least from that moment in time, from like 10 years ago, you know.
Yeah, like I'm saying that too. Like I've run into plenty of folks, you know, that have said that we've influenced them, which is there's a part of me that's like, really? It's hard to believe, you know. But I don't. There's no kind of like blatant like imitations. I don't think. So I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. So
is that like you know, is that come from sort of a sense of being genuine, you know, because it's with the way you sort of express yourself, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheekness, you know what I mean? And it's sort of, for some people, it can be hard to like maybe pinpoint where that line is, you know. So it's interesting that you say people sort of find that connection when, you know, a lot of the time I think you're being kind of facetious, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, true. There's well, I guess it's just right in line with our sense of humor, you know. Or like, yeah, like I can't. I like guess it's kind of like this coming from a place of this kind of like self-deprecation, you know. Like it's like I just wouldn't think that anybody would like us enough to copy what we do.
Well, I guess that makes you a true original, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that makes me. Yeah.
Well, that makes honest, and honesty is pretty important in music. So I guess that's good enough. So Adam, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today.
Thank you for taking the time.
Wish you the best of luck on your set today. And do you have any final words?
Oh, well, just thanks for taking the time to talk with me. This is I think we're in for a good day today. Glassjaw's about to start playing, so that's always a good thing.
With Adam from Taking Back Sunday backstage at Riot Fest in Toronto, this is Andrew for A Journal of Musical Things. We'll see you next time.